Hello, everyone. This is Allison Stratton. I'm having the opportunity to meet with some of the volunteers in the Graduate Student Research Conference this year at OISE. Thank you for making time to meet with me today. Would you introduce yourself and share a little bit about your focus and time at OISE?
Yeah, for sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Zeyana. I'm currently working with one of the professors in the Department of Applied Psychology and Human Development, Professor Zachary Hawes. I'm part of his mathematical thinking lab, and we're mainly focused on mathematical reasoning and spatial thinking. We also do some interventions, game-based interventions. We have one on fractions and cool stuff like that. I've been working with him for like the past year or so as a researcher, and this coming fall, I'll be starting as a master's student in the DPE program.
How did you get involved with the conference in the first place? How did you become a volunteer?
Hao Yi, who's one of the conference co-chairs, is also in the same lab as me. So she reached out to our lab and asked if anyone was interested in volunteering. And I've always liked doing stuff like this, like volunteering for events and conferences. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to sort of see the behind the scenes of how conferences are run. So I just reached out to her and went from there.
What kind of things have you been working on as a volunteer with the conference?
Yes, a couple of things I've been handling on like the pre-conference end, and I'll also be doing a few stuff on the day of the conferences. So far, two of the main things I've been helping out with is one is the peer review, and the other is one of the panel discussions. So for the peer review, we had a bunch of poster presentation proposals submitted, and I was one of the peer reviewers that helped take a look at those, try to give some constructive feedback, and hopefully help our students improve their proposal in time for the conference. And for the panel discussion, we'll be having a panel discussion with a bunch of editors from different journals. So that should be a really helpful way for students to get a better idea how they can prepare for a journal submission. I help with coming up with some questions we can ask as the moderators for that panel. And then lastly, on the day of the conference, the 3 days, I'll be helping out with facilitating some of the poster presentation sessions and just generally helping set up and all the logistics.
Coming to the Graduate Student Research Conference, what are you hoping as a student to take away from the experience?
As a peer review, I got to see all the interesting and broad-ranging submissions that we'll be presenting at the conference. So I'm really interested in going around and looking what kind of work other students are doing and really learn from them. And the conference theme itself is like a very interesting theme. It brings together a lot of different fields that you might not initially see how they come together, but then especially through the peer review, I really got to see, wow, there's a lot of ways to approach this theme. And hopefully the people who are attending the conference can see that too and bring that forward in their own work. So I think even attending the panel discussions, which we're hoping will be really practical and useful information, I hope also in terms of networking, I imagine it will be a great opportunity for students to interact with other students who are in different fields or the same field as them and really get to know about what everyone's working on. It's a few days of just focused on research. You're not thinking about classes or anything. It's just a time to see what cool work everyone in the programs are working on and learn from them.
The Graduate Student Research Conference is upcoming from when we're recording this. So it's going to be March 5th to the 7th at the OISE building at U of T. Many students, it could be their first conference, their first academic conference. It also just could be their first graduate student research conference. So what kind of advice or maybe a tip or a trick that you think would be especially helpful to students attending the conference?
One of the important things to keep in mind is that conferences are really a great way to meet people. I would say take as much opportunity to try and talk to the people who are presenting, talk to other attendees, and really get to meet other people who are doing similar or different research. And I know 3 days is a long time, so if it's exhausting to be at all of them, I would say try to pick out in advance what parts of the conference you're most interested in and really try to get to those ones. And then depending on how you're feeling, you can stay for longer, things like that.
That's so important. And I think having it on campus makes that especially
Yeah.
flexible for us. It's been really nice to get to talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing your time.